Yep, Fantech did it again. Last year, they released one of the best gaming mice of 2022, the Fantech XD3. It was the cheapest Pixar 3395 gaming mouse at that time, and most people like it. This year, they repeated it again by releasing yet another affordable Pixar 3395 gaming mouse with 4K capability, the Fantech Helios 2 Pro. So I've been using this gaming mouse for 2 weeks now and I really like the performance. For example, the sensor. I love Fantech's implementation of Pixar 3395. I think this has a better implementation than XD3, or they're almost the same, but Helios 2 Pro is a little bit better gaming mouse when it comes to sensor implementation. But definitely, this is way better than most budget 3395 gaming mice that we have reviewed before. Aside from that, I did not experience any sensor related issues in my 2 weeks of testing. Another reason why I like the performance of this gaming mouse is because it's battery efficient. With just a small battery capacity of 300 mAh, the wireless uptime of this gaming mouse using 4K polling rate is around 40 hours. In this test, my average daily usage is 5 to 8 hours a day and it lasted almost 6 days. As of the making of this video, I have already charged it twice. And in this second trial, I haven't consumed all of its battery while using the 1K polling rate. By the way, if the battery is in critical levels, the DPI indicator will blink red, and when the battery is full, it will return to its designated DPI setting color. As for the charging time, it took me around 3 hours to fully charge it. But upon first glance, you'll see a familiar face. Yes, the Xiaomi S2. If you check the dimensions, they are exactly the same. However, the Fantech Helios 2 Pro has more aggressive bottom curves than the Xiaomi S2. Now, if you compare the shape and size with other gaming mice like Viper Mini, the Helios 2 Pro is wider and a tad taller. It's wider too and lengthier if you compare it to a popular Chinese mouse like the Optical XD3. Oh, one thing, if you try to fill the area near the hump, you'll feel a slightly flat area. I don't know if this is the same with Xiaomi S2, but it's one of the things I noticed when I first held this gaming mouse. Now, if you have the same hand size as mine, you can perform different grip styles, but I'm most comfortable using the fingertip. One reason why I think Helios 2 Pro is a great gaming mouse release is because of its optical switches. This gaming mouse uses TTC Gold optical switches and the clicking experience is great so far. It's soft and spammable, and so far in my 2 weeks of testing, I haven't experienced any click related issues. The mouse clickers don't wobble either. And lastly, it has very minimal pre-travel for both mouse clickers. This is also same on the side buttons. Speaking of which, the side buttons are soft too, and just like the main clickers, they're spammable. To be honest, I like the implementation and I can say this mouse is good to use in long gaming sessions. The Helios 2 Pro is a lightweight gaming mouse too. It weighs just 54 grams, which is just right. Not too heavy and not too light. Also, it's a gram lighter than its advertised weight. To me, 54 grams is enough. I don't prefer gaming mice below 50 grams and 85 grams above is too heavy for me. Aside from the aforementioned experiences, I also like the build quality of this gaming mouse. It's a solid gaming mouse and there are no flexing or creaking sounds. And if you try to shake it, there's a little bit of rattle, but I think the rattling sound came from the buttons underneath the gaming mouse. The mouse feet used in Helios 2 Pro are good too, although I'm not sure if this is 100% PTFE mouse gates, but the gliding experience is good so far. Also, in case you don't like the default mouse gates, there's a free set of dot gates included in the package. More of the package inclusion later. In case you're wondering, Helios 2 Pro is available in 2 colorways, black and grayish white, and both have a yellow accent which looks sleek. However, I don't like the coating used on the black variant. Markings stay on it if you have oily or sweaty fingers, but there's a remedy to this. You can get a free set of grip tapes included in the package. We can use that to cover mouse 1 and 2 to avoid getting smudges from our sweaty hands, but I'm not sure if my concern is also applicable on the gray variant. Maybe it's different. Scrolling experience wise, it's pretty much the same as a gaming mouse with TTC Gold encoder, just like the Fantech Aria. The Helios 2 Pro has F-switch tactile scroll wheel encoder. To be honest, I like the tactility of it. However, I don't prefer the rubber used on the scroll wheel. It attracts too much dust and it might need frequent cleaning. One tricky thing I noticed about this gaming mouse is when you switch between 1K dongle and the 4K dongle. It's not plug and play. I mean, you need the software to switch dongles. Once you plug both dongles and you open the software, it will show the selection between 1K and 4K. Just follow the instructions displayed on the software to pair the gaming mouse to your desired dongle. Also inside the software, there's a pairing option available. The steps of the pairing process using these settings is also the same with the steps of the selection I mentioned earlier. Well, it's not easy as I thought it should be, but I'm okay with it. So yeah, the Fantech Helios 2 Pro has the capability to enable 4K polling rate. To be honest, my setup cannot keep up with these high refresh rates, so I don't feel any difference between 1K and 4K. But as most of us know, there are a lot of factors to consider when playing games using high refresh rates. For example, your setup and the game engines of the games you're playing. So I guess if your setup is good enough to handle high refresh rates, go for 4K dongles of the Helios 2 Pro. Speaking of 4K dongle, it's sold separately. It's currently priced at 300 pesos, and if you just want the Helios 2 Pro without the 4K dongle, you'll pay 3,600 pesos. With the specs and performance of this gaming mouse, I can say that it's bang for the buck. I would rather choose the Fantech Helios 2 Pro than below 2,000 pesos Chinese gaming mouse with 3395 sensor and 4K refresh rate. It's an obvious choice for me because Fantech is already an established brand. The warranty and software support will not be a problem, unlike Chinese gaming mice brands that flooded the market recently. Also, it's an affordable option compared to other international brands. As I mentioned earlier, it has a software and you can get it from Fantech's website. According to some content creators, the UI or the interface of Helios 2 Pro's software is the same with Ninjutsu Sora. I haven't used the Sora yet, so I cannot say if they are the same or not. Inside the software, you can set the usuals like mapping the buttons, setting the DPI, updating the refresh rate, and other important things. The DPI settings can be adjusted by using the slider, and you can increase the increments by 50s. One interesting setting in the software is the long distance mode. Once enabled, it will trigger the anti-interference capability of the mouse. This is good for people whose PC or dongle receiver is a bit far from their desk. As you might have already noticed, there's no RGB setting inside the software. This is because the mouse has no RGB lighting. I think it's ultimately fine because it prolongs the uptime of the mouse. Also, when you're using it, your hand will cover the lighting, right? So I think removing the RGB lighting is one of the best moves Fantech did in this gaming mouse. Now if we check the packaging, we'll see a lot of items inside the box. For example, the grip tapes, a set of extra mouse feet, and some stickers. There's also a user manual, warranty card, a letter from the CEO, and the mouse itself. Interestingly, there's a 4K coin or collectible also included in the package. Meanwhile, the 4K dongle box has only the dongle itself. No instruction manual or such. Overall, I like the performance of Fantech Helios 2 Pro. It's a solid mouse too because there are no creaking or flexing sounds, which means all parts are well installed. Also, Fantech level up this year. Yes, Fantech Aria XD3 was a good release last year, but they exceeded it this year. It has a good shape too, which most of us are familiar with. To be honest, my only concern is the coating, specifically on the black variant. It's not ideal, especially if you have sweaty hands. Hopefully, they will release other colorways too, like what they did with the Fantech Aria. Now, the question is, will I recommend buying this? My answer is yes. Like I said earlier, this is a better option compared to Chinese gaming mice with Pixar 3395 and 4K refresh rates. And my reason why I said that is because of the support we can get from Fantech. For example, the warranty and firmware upgrades. Also, it's a cheaper option compared to gaming mice with the same specs which are priced above 5,000 pesos or $90 US. Huge thanks to Fantech Philippines for sending this gaming mouse in. And that's it guys, we have reached the end part now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Till our next, goodbye.